Hi and welcome. I'm here this morning with Lacy, and Lacy is a client here at the Pilates Center of Austin, and I've asked her to share a little bit about her journey and also how the work that we're doing here is, because we've spoken, how it's helping to deepen and to be more creative with what you're already incredible with, and that you're an opera singer and you're a teacher. And so I'd love to just kind of hear a little bit about, you know, your journey of how you came to opera, and also how the work here is. We spoke about the painting, creativity, and how that's blossomed for you.
Yeah, well, my dad is a jazz trumpeter, so Billie Holliday, Chet Baker, Ella Fitzgerald, those are the singers that were always on, like, throughout my childhood. And I actually grew up for a long time wanting to be a jazz singer and musical theater and perform on Broadway and all that stuff, and kind of do it all. But I think I remember being 16, or maybe like it was a little before I was 16, and I found like the Lock Me CD with Joan Sutherland, and that's sort of when I first had this notion in my head that I was going to be an opera singer, and you know, that was the beginning of it. And I went to Performing Arts High School and studied classical voice there, but then I had a very sort of non-supportive teacher who, because my voice is, I've now found like there's a very particular rep. I mean, I jazz and folk music and pop and Renaissance and Baroque and medieval. That's what my voice is suited for. But like the roles that Joan Sutherland played, not so much, you know. But
so you really found your voice.
Yes. Yeah.
So you found what was you.
Yes. Yeah. But my teacher in high school, unfortunately, sort of steered me away from opera. And said, "You're a good student, so you should probably just go into that, go into something else," which is, looking back, like, you know, that's not good on her part. But then my senior year, I had a really incredible voice teacher at the same school, this Performing Arts High School. Her name is Abby Seibel, and she was actually a yoga teacher as well as a voice teacher. And for the first time, I felt like, you know, this teacher was really interested in helping me find my true voice, and not, you know, understanding that, like, just because it is not of a certain timbre or suited for this particular type of rep.
How do you find yours?
Yeah.
Which is so much about what our work is about here.
Yeah.
You know, and what's interesting that you're saying is how this teacher, who is also a yoga teacher, how her understanding of voice in relationship to whole body movement really shifted your ability to perceive
completely
how you could express yourself.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, so I just remember that being like the first sort of aha moment, like, okay, well, maybe I can do this.
Yes.
And then, you know, I did decide to go down the musical path, but still sort of thinking that I would probably just, like, you know, sing jazz and, you know, sing classical music just to keep my chops up.
Right.
And then I got to New Orleans, and
my hometown.
Your hometown, yeah, that's so awesome. It's like my favorite city in the whole world. I love it. I at some point may live there, just not right now, but yeah. But I, you know, my voice teacher there gave me a Henry Purcell song music for a while, and I had never heard anything like it, but I just knew at that moment that was the music that I wanted to sing for the rest of my life. And I mean, it was such a visceral reaction. Like I just started weeping immediately. Like it was so powerful and so profound, and still to this day, it's like that song. It's probably my favorite song in the whole world, and that sort of began my journey as like pursuing classical music and Baroque music.
Yes.
And led me down this really, really insane, crazy, unexpected, with so many
following the
twists and
breadcrumbs.
turns. Yeah, following the breadcrumbs. Yeah, that at some point I even studied in the summer at the Amsterdam Conservatory.
Right.
For the early music there, and I've studied at Amherst Early Music Festival, and now I see
so rich.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know? So what brought you to Pilates?
So my back injury. So I injured my back when I was 16. I ruptured a disc, L5S1, and I did all sorts of therapy, and nothing really worked at all. And then when I got surgery, it was, first, just with a physical therapist, relearning how to do like a lot of basic things like walk and stand. And, and then I did water therapy, which was all right, and it worked, but it just didn't seem like it was just a very temporary thing. And then I was introduced to Feldenkrais by, I can't even remember who it was that, how it came to be, but I remember. It was actually through another voice teacher who was really incredible, like Sharon Radnikoff, who specialized in helping people find their voice after surgery.
Sure.
And so she recommended Feldenkrais, and that sort of was the first step into me, like, regaining my body function and, alignment, and because it was, like, thinking about where I was after surgery, where and the point that the deterioration that my body had gotten to at that point, like, and where I am now, it's like totally different person.
Really resourced yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, Feldenkrais was the first step in that, and then Pilates. Actually, I started doing by happenstance. I was looking for Feldenkrais when I came to Austin, and the teacher was only available in times that I couldn't see her. So the place recommended Pilates. So I noticed that just like my improved like my core strength was like really affecting me in a really positive way, and I didn't go that often, but it was often enough to like feel like this is really affecting me in a positive way. I really like this. I really like having this sense of core. Yes. And then
so you did more of a core center, more belly center.
Yes.
Pilates.
Yeah. And then accidentally again, through scheduling, I took Pilates with another instructor who just moved from New York, and she was also a gyro instructor, and so she sort of like opened up this whole world of gyrotonic to me, and her Pilates was like sort of a combination of the two, and because she had two, they really informed each other. But and that just completely changed my life. Yes. And she's been telling me for a long time that I need to move to New York, and she's been there for like a year now. But so
how did you find us?
Oh, like totally randomly. I just actually like because I still take gyro here, but I was really feeling like just this need for a little bit more than just gyro, like that I wanted to take Pilates again, and I honestly like just typed in Pilates Austin, and I just like I saw your site, and I was like, this is it. I have to go here. So it was a very intuitive, like, okay, this is, I'm going to try this.
And what's been your experience of being here that is distinct?
It's like fully integrative. Like, it's just like,
you feel like it kind of is contributing to your gyrotonics practice?
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's sort of like connecting all of the little things like that I've been doing for a while, but now they're just like starting to merge. So it's been,
fabulous.
It's just like a big merging.
And how you mentioned, I'd just love you to say a little bit of something about what you're noticing around your ability to express yourself more, just what you're noticing out of that awareness of fully integrating yourself more, and how is that feeding your voice?
It's so much like with my teaching my own students, like I teach from like 2:30 to 9 or 9:30 sometimes, like with no breaks. It's just like, you know, I have to use rest of the
big schedule.
But but it's a lot of time, and one student after the other, and I used to really, like, my hip flexors used to like just fire up and immediately like clench, even whether I was standing or sitting and modeling, and I feel like, I don't know, just like the concept of like the act of sitting, and then the act of standing, just all that has just, physically made it so that I'm able to get through those long days, and it's, I can do it, and I can still come home and compose, which is awesome, because like I'm a composer as well, and that's sort of like what I have to do all the time, and physically have been prevented from doing it sometimes, because it just, if like I come home from work and my body is like, you need to lay down right now. So it's really great to feel like I have more physical energy available to me, because I have so much creative energy, and I would probably not sleep if I didn't have to. Yeah,
I know that feeling.
But I have to sleep.
Yeah.
But my friends always joke with me. Yeah, I tried calling you, and I figured like you were probably composing, and you were right. I was totally lost.
Yeah. So we talked just a moment ago about the importance of being able to resource yourself while you're being creative, rather than thinking I have to go do something to resource myself, and now I'm going to be creative.
Right.
How important that is.
Yeah. Yeah. And
in
also,
the moment of creating, to know how you're sitting, how you're standing, how you're using yourself in relationship to gravity supporting you, so you can let go of excess tension.
Yeah, and just for performing, it's been, I was already at a certain level vocally, just because of my years of study, but I feel like just I've recently crossed that point where it's just like I can be sure that every time I perform, it's gonna be at this level, because I can just like use my body to help me. Whereas before, like, again, too, with singing, it's like sometimes like, tension from my back, or from like if a long drive, or I wouldn't know like how to get out of that. So if I didn't get enough sleep, or if I was really tense, that would affect my performance.
Yes.
And now it's like, I feel like all extraneous factors are how much sleep I get, which, sleeping is important, but is affecting it less, because I can just be more aware of like my alignment and energy flow, and so even if I am really tense, I can sort of like in the moment release it, which has been something that's really new and really exciting, because like again, like I have so much creative energy, and I could go forever. Like, I'm always the person that could go the longest in rehearsal. Like,
can you give us an example of what it would be to feel like a tense voice, and what it would feel like to be a little more open? What would be an example of a tense sound and a more open sound, more grounded, more what you're talking about?
Yeah, so just, I mean, so in singing, like it's, you can even see it, it's just like, sort of like a tightening here, and it's sort of the difference is like between like like if you know you
I would imagine that if you're holding your belly in hard, and I know that tightens the throat, but I would imagine sometimes people have a tendency to hold themselves or try to work hard.
Yeah, it's like a fine balance between like support and release, but it's like a gentle, continuous support, you know, coming all the way from the pelvic floor and up. It's like which is why Pilates has also been so invaluable, because but then also the release is equally as important.
Yeah, and which is often missing in Pilates. How do you let go but not collapse?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel a balance of support?
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I guess for singing, the tone is more strident, and when a supported sound, I feel like it's angelic, it's pure, it's heavenly, it's like.
What would that sound like?
So the difference, I guess, between like feeling like, I'm not, what do you mean? Like
just sound.
Sound?
You like, sound. Like what would that, you doing it right now?
Right now?
What would that sound like? Just as far as just a difference between tension and sense of openness. Whatever that is for you, what does that feel like for you?
Oh, what does it feel like?
Yeah, and what does it sound like? What does it sound like?
So it feels like I'm not even singing.
Yeah.
So it's like I know that I'm singing, but the only thing that I'm really aware of is like all of my body working, and then my voice just, it's almost just like it comes out.
And can you give an example?
I can try. Okay. Let's see.
Sample.
Last night I did not get enough sleep. And sleep is unfortunately important for singing, but okay, so I'll sing Billie Holliday.
Beautiful.
It costs me a lot, but there's one thing that I've got. It's my man, my man. So that's I still feel a little bit.
But guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? What's interesting is as soon as you began, I felt your love of what you're doing, and I also felt you allowing yourself to be held, allowing yourself to be supported. And what was interesting is I took a deeper breath. I could resonate. It's almost like bodies as instruments.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. So I was just curious about what that would be, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was a real gift. Real gift.
Yeah, I would love to sing for you for real.
Oh, that was phenomenal. It was so beautiful.
Awesome.
So beautiful.
Yeah, but it's just, even with my students, just realizing that it's, like, the human voice is such a powerful expression.
Yes.
And to be on the breath, it's like the greatest tool for singing, and just for connecting to themselves. And
well, and how does voice? We're going to be finishing right now, but just as this takes us into a whole other conversation of really what is vocalizing, what is language, what is sound, how does that feed us on so many levels? You know, so it's just huge.
Yeah.
How does that shape us?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
It's really incredible. Thank you so much, Lacy.
You're so welcome.
A real gift.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.